Now let's draw the pattern very quickly and then we'll solve it later, right? So here is the pattern. Now let's solve this pattern by using my 4-step formula. By the way, you can take a screenshot of this 4-step formula, and here is the short form of this formula, right? Now let's work with the first step, that is grid and analyze. That means we have to put this pattern inside a grid and need to analyze it as well. So let's analyze it, right? Let's suppose this is a row 1, row 2, row 3 and row 4. Did you notice one thing? Similar to previous pattern, we have to print a space as well, right? So in row 1 we have to print 3 space and 1 star. In row 2 we have to print 2 space and 3 star. Inside row 3 we have to print 1 space and 5 star. And the last row has 0 space and 7 star. Is it clear to you? Right? The number of stars is incrementing by 2 in each iteration, while the number of space is decrementing by 1 in each iteration. Now in this pattern is also very similar behavior just like previous ones. For example, let's say this one. The number of rows is incrementing by 1 in each iteration, and the number of spaces is decrementing by each iteration. And finally, in this pattern, the number of star is also incrementing by 2 in each iteration. Here, incrementing by 2. In this behavior, this is decrementing by 1 and it is also incrementing by 1. So let's suppose this is a loop 1, loop 2, loop 3. Because we are getting some behavior just like a iterator, right? And now we have completed the first step. Now let's work with the second step, that is getting numbers from this pattern. So our first number from this pattern will be the size of this pattern, that is 4. So let's write size equal to 4 because there is 4 row as well, and the number of I, j are a constant as well, right? So let's write over here I is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and j is equal to 3, 2, 1 and 0, and a constant 2, and take 1 as well as a constant because it is decrementing by 1. And we have collected some number from this pattern. Now let's work with the third step, that is getting general formula to print the star sign and spaces as well, right? So now let's print the space first and then we'll work with a star sign. So inside R1 we have how many spaces? 3 spaces. R2 has 2 space, R1 has 1 space, and R3 has 1 space, and R4 has 0 spaces. So how can we get this output? By using these numbers. Pause this video and try to think. How can we get this output by using these given numbers? So I think it's so simple for you. Why not let's subtract size minus I in each iteration. Let me write over here 4 minus 1, that is 3, and we are getting 3. 4 minus 2, that is 2. 4 minus 3, that is 1, and 4 minus 4, that is 0, and we are getting our output. So let me write a general formula. So this is the value of size, right? So let's write over here size minus, because I am using minus in this expression, right? And this is the value of I, so let's write I. The general formula to print a space in this pattern will be size minus I. Now let's see how can we print the star sign in this pattern, right? So now let's work with this problem. So inside R1 we have 1 star, R2 has 3 star, R3 has how many star? 5 star. And R4 has 7 star. So now pause this video and try to think how can we get this number or this output by using the given number. We have constant I, J, 4 and 1. So try to hit and trial by using the given number and then continue this video from here. So now I am also going to use a technique that is hit and trial method. In order to get 1 as an output, why not subtract 4 minus 3? Let's suppose 4 minus 3 is equal to 1, and in the next iteration the value of I will be decremented by 1, that is 2. Let's see, 4 minus 2 is 2, and here our requirement output is not matching with this result. So it will not going to work in this pattern, right? Let's try another technique, right? Now I'm going to write the required output 1, 3, 5 and 7, and here we need to do some calculation by using the given number in order to get our required output or desired output, right? So in the first row we want 1 by using this given number. So let's write 2 minus 1, because 2 is a constant. I am using 2 over here, right? 2 minus 1, that is 1 I am getting, right? And here we need to use again 2 and minus, let's say 2. 2 minus 2 is 0, right? Why not multiply the value of I? Here the value of I will be 2. Here the value of I will be what? 1. So 2 into 1 minus 1, that is 1. 2 into 2 minus 2, it will again not working. But we can also use this constant, right? So instead of using 2, let's write a constant over here. Let me remove it. So let's write a constant 1. So need to decrement in each iteration by 1. So 2 into 2 minus 1 is 3. Perfect. 2 is also constant, and this is the value of I incrementing by 1. 2 into 3 minus 1 is 5. Let's check for last one. 2 into 4 minus 1, that is 7. And perfect. We have generated or created our general formula to solve this pattern. Let me write general formula over here. 2 is a constant, so let's write 2 into, and this is the value of what? I. So let's write I minus, and this is also constant, so 1. So here is our general formula to print a star in this pattern, and this is the general formula to print a spaces. This is for a star. So without further ado, let's see inside the VS Code. So first thing first, we have to define the size of this pattern, that is 4. So let's define const size is equal to 4. Need to use a loop, that is for. Let I is going to start from 1 and it will go till size, that is 4. And inside each iteration I am going to increment the value of I, that is I plus plus. Now here we have to print two things. The first one is spaces. So let's define a space, and on this string I am again going to use a repeat function. How many times we need to repeat? That is size minus I times. Let's store the number of a star as well. Let a star, and on this string again I am going to use what? Repeat function. That is 2 into I minus 1. Let me concatenate both of the string, that is a spaces plus a star, and that's it. Let me run it, and boom, here is the output. Now times come for the challenge. Instead of using 2 times repeat function, now we have to use 2 more for loops inside this outer for loop, right? And print the same pattern as well. Pause this video and try to solve it yourself. If not, then head over to the description box of this video and see the respected GitHub repository.